This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. With the past weekend storms, Mark Stephen Williams, K9GX, had his internet connection knocked out, so he's been unable to get the next Hayton Hamvention information out this week. Hopefully next week his internet will be back and we will have the final pre-Hamvention information for you right here on the AB4WS radio show. A few weeks back, we told you about the work of Jackson, K6KUK, and others with the Kids on the Air program. Well, this past week, Jack Parker, W8ISH, introduced the work of Jackson, K6KUK, and others with the Kids on the Air program to a greater audience, delivering the message over the immensely popular and worldwide amateur radio Newsline report for the week of May 3rd. Listen to this report. Go to arnewsline.org. Congratulations, Jackson, K6KUK, and his crew for their great work, and look for them at the Dayton Hamvention. For many years, Jerry, W1SCR, now a silent key, maintained the W1SCR-10 VHF packet radio gateway, which he had donated to O'Kion Amateur Radio Society, and is at the 146.670 repeater site. With his passing, the O'Kion Amateur Radio Society has updated the call sign of that digital station, making the Winlink VHF gateway K8SCH-10 on 145.010 with a Winlink 2000 RMS packet server. Update your VHF Winlink and packet radio settings accordingly. On May 11th, the Letcher County Amateur Radio Club will provide communication support with the Harlan County Amateur Radio Emergency Communications Service in the Kingdom Come Park by assisting with communications for the Tour de Kingdom Come Bicycle Rally at the top of Pine Mountain and the Little Shepherd Trail off Highway 119 outside of Whitesburg, Kentucky. On May 11th, the Brunch Bunch will be meeting at 1 p.m. at the Steak and Shake, 4949 Ridge Avenue in Oakley. Come on out and get in on all the Brunch Bunch fun. The Gateway Amateur Radio Club is organizing Saturday morning breakfast meetings on the first and third Saturdays of the month. They encourage everyone to come out and join them for breakfast and ham radio. The U.S. Department of Defense will host this year's Armed Forces Day Crossband test on May 11, 2024. For more than 50 years, military and amateur stations have taken part in this event, which is an interoperability exercise between hobbyist and governmental radio stations. The event is open to all licensed amateur radio operators and will not impact any public or private communications. An Armed Forces Day Crossband test is a unique opportunity to test your two-way communications between military communicators and radio stations in the amateur radio service. These tests provide opportunities and challenges for the operators to demonstrate individual technical skills in a tightly controlled exercise scenario. Military stations will transmit on selected military frequencies and announce the specific amateur radio service frequencies monitored. All scheduled times will be in Zulu, and all scheduled frequencies will be in upper sideband unless otherwise noted. Information on frequencies, times, and other technical information can be found at dodmars.org on the Armed Forces Day page. The National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting, in conjunction with the Westchester Amateur Radio Association, announced expanded hours for the museum during the 2024 Hamvention. They'll be open for Thursday, May 16th from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m., Friday, May 17th from 1 to 9 p.m., Saturday, May 18th from noon to 9 p.m., and Sunday, May 19th from noon to 5. Admission is $10 at the door. Their amateur radio station, WC8VOA, will be on the air to operate. The museum is just a short drive from Hamvention, down either Interstate I-75 or US 42 from Xenia, Ohio. New exhibits include a dedicated room for amateur radio and shortwave equipment, the newly renovated ham shack with state-of-the-art equipment from Yaesu, ICOM, and Elecraft. Amateur radio service operators will be available to enhance your visit to the museum. For further information, go to voamuseum.org or wc8voa.org. They also have a Facebook page. Look for National Voice of America Museum of Broadcasting. Regular hours are Saturdays and Sundays from 1 to 4 p.m., and they're located at 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. On May 18th, the Letcher County Amateur Radio Club will be setting up at the Fish Pond Lake outside of Jenkins, Kentucky, preparing for the Bushcrafters meetup in the mountains, which will be held on the last weekend in May. This special event will run from May 31st through June 1st with the club operating special event station K2B. They also have a special QSL card for this event. For more information on this meetup and a special event, check out the Kentucky Woodsman YouTube channel. An AUXCOMM class will be presented on May 20th, 21st, and 22nd, the 3 days immediately following the Hamvention. Prerequisites are FEMA IS 100, 200, 700, and 800. To register for the class, send an email to jolene.hollingshad.civ@us.navy.mil with the subject line AUXCOMM registration. Make sure you attach PDF copies of your FEMA IS 100, IS 200, IS 700, and IS 800 certificates. In the body of the email, include the name of the public safety agency that you are most likely to support with auxiliary communications, your call sign, and your cell phone number. Class will be held in the city of Beaver Creek, Ohio, 6 miles west of the Hamvention site. If you have questions, contact Bob Baker, N8ADO, the Greene County Area's emergency coordinator, at n8ADO@woh.rr.com. On May 20th at 7 p.m., the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club will hold their meeting at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence. The presentation will be on an introduction to digital voice modes by AB4WS, yours truly. So if you've been wondering what all the ruckus is about digital voice modes, come on out to the meeting. On Tuesday, May 21st, the Dixie Heights High School Amateur Radio Club, KY4DH, will get together for a Parks on the Air event at the Big Bone Lick State Historic Site, Park US 3779. Tom, NV4H, and myself, AB4WS, will be setting up in the morning as usual, and the kids will be on the air about 10 a.m. to around 2 p.m. Listen out for KY4DH. We will also have the FT8 station, AB4WS, up and running for demonstration as well. On May 25th, the Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society will be having a fox hunt where people armed with HTs and directional antennas will hunt down a fox with a 2-meter transmitter somewhere in Lexington-Fayette County area. They will meet at the Bar Shack at 9 a.m. and then come back to the shack after the fox is found for pizza and fellowship. The Murray State University Amateur Radio Club K4MSU has announced the particulars on this year's 5th anniversary Kentucky Parks on the Air contest, which will be held on August 10th, 2024 from $1,400 UTC to $2,200 UTC. For the particular modes, bands, rules, and all the other important information, go to k4msu.com/KYPOTA. A great event to volunteer for is Paddlefest, where amateur radio operators provide communications for safety and logistics for the big Paddlefest event on the Ohio River. This year, Paddlefest will be held on August 3rd, 2024. There are positions both on the river and on the shore. If you'd like to volunteer for this fun event, email Rick, KD4PYR, at KD4PYR@ARRL.net. The Air Force Marathon is looking for a few good hams to volunteer to provide communications assistance for the event on Saturday, September 21st, in the area of the National Museum of the U.S. Air Force. For more information or to volunteer, email Bob, N8ADO@AFM.HAMS@gmail.com.
Repeater news.
The Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society reports that they have been working on the 444.875 repeater on Anderson Hall with new half-inch hardline replaced. The duplexers are scheduled to be retuned as well as programming for the repeater, adding a courtesy tone. The new 224.800 repeater has been installed, but it was discovered that the antenna is bad, so a new antenna is needed. So the repeater will remain off the air until the new antenna arrives and is installed.
Hamfests.
Starting on May 11th and running through May 16th is the RV Radio Network Hamfest at the Berlin RV Park, 5898 State Route 39 in Millersburg, Ohio, talking on 146.520 Simplex. May 17th through May 19th is the granddaddy of all Hamfests, the Dayton Hamvention at the Greene County Fairgrounds, 210 Fairgrounds Road in Xenia, Ohio.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.w8bi@gmail.com. On May 11th, the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will hold an exam session at 10 a.m. at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On May 11th at 10 a.m., the Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society will hold an amateur radio testing session at the Red Cross Building in Classroom A at 1450 Newtown Pike in Lexington, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/KE4MAI. For more information, contact Fernie Williams, KE4MAI at 859-536-3393. On Monday, May 20th at 5:30 p.m., the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club will hold an amateur radio testing session at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky. You must register by emailing Mark Volstead, AI4BJ at MVOLSTAD@TWSC.com. June 8th, the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will hold an amateur radio exam session at 10 a.m. at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Pre-registration is required at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On June 8th at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session at the Georgetown Police Department, 550 Bourbon Street in Georgetown, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WX4GPS. On July 13th, the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will hold an amateur radio exam session at 10 a.m. at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On June 25th at 6 p.m., the amateur radio testing session will be held at Anderson County Extension Building. Use the rear entrance, lower level, 1026 County Park Road in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. For more information, contact Brian Carter, KI4TLW at 502-545-0376. On July 13th at 10 a.m., an amateur radio exam session will be held at the Clark County Emergency Operations Center, 200 Maryland Drive in Winchester, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/AC4YD. For more information, contact Darrell Epperson, AC4YD at 859-771-1834. On July 23rd at 6 p.m., an amateur radio testing session will be held at the Anderson County Extension Building. Use the rear entrance, lower level, 1026 County Park Road in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. For more information, contact Brian Carter, KI4TLW at 502-545-0376. On Saturday, July 27th at 10 a.m., the Wilderness Road Amateur Radio Club will sponsor an amateur radio license exam session at the American Legion post number 46, 45 Spears Lane in Danville, Kentucky. Pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions. For more information, contact Harold Miller, AF6MB at 541-602-6535. Special thanks to this week's content contributors, K9GX, KE4WA, KY4GW, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, N8LAR, K4NKU.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana tri-state area. This is Jack Prindle, AB4WS in Big Bone, Kentucky.